Hey guys, my name is Hannah and I would say, let's have some fun today. Okay guys, today I want to show you my favorite palettes for the springtime because springtime is around and I always have some palettes that are for every season more in my mind than other palettes are because, you know, the color story is reminding me of that time, or just looking at the overall palette, it's making me feel like that specific kind of season, you know? So I grabbed some palettes that I really want to use a little bit more in the springtime. There will be luxury palettes, high-end palettes, and non-high-end palettes. So you will have everything in this video. And if it sounds good and interesting to you, stay tuned and let's get started. You know, usually I'm doing 10 palettes for each season that I'm showing you my favorite 10. But this time I just pulled palettes out that I really genuinely want to use during the springtime. So it's a little bit more than 10. But yeah, those are really the palettes I'm thinking about a little bit more during the springtime, you know? So let's get started. The first palette I want to show you are two palettes, to be specific. And it's the Sailor Moon X Colourpop palettes that I have right here. Both are so beautiful for the springtime, guys. I want to use both a little bit more. The first ever palette that came out with Sailor Moon is this one right here. It's so beautiful. It's called, I think, just Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. And it's so beautiful. I love this one, especially for the springtime. I hope you can see the spring reference in here. Those are pastel kind of shades, but I have to say they're a little bit stronger than just pastels. They are a little bit more like those neon kind of pastels almost. On me, at least, they are. And therefore, I really want to use it during the springtime, for sure. Because I think it's so beautiful, so stunning. I love the color story in here. And this one did get a fair amount of use of me, but I really want to use it more because I have phases, you know? Phases where I really want to use more luxury palettes, phases where I have, again, more the feeling I want to use indie brands and more not so high-end palettes or just high-end palettes. There are phases, you know? But in general, I love everything. I love all the palettes. So that's good, but also a curse, you know, because of that, everything is so appealing to me when it's the right color story for me. So you know the struggle if you know the struggle, but I love them all. And this is no exception. I really want to use the first one during the springtime. And the second one that came out, also no exception because it's so beautiful. And this is the Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon for Love and Justice palette right here. It's so cute. I love that there are the old characters in the front of the palette. I really love that. I love the old Sailor Moons so much. And here's the inside, guys. And you could say it's a little bit more of a stronger approach for the springtime almost, because there you have a little bit more vibrancy, a little bit more of darkness if you compare it to the first one. But they are so beautiful as well, and they are so spring-like in my opinion as well, because you have those light shades, you can deepen it up. You have those stronger shades that are so vibrant and so there that it's also like a stronger approach for the spring, you know? So I really love both of them, and I want to use both for sure for the springtime more, because I have to say especially the For Love and Justice palette is deserving a little bit more playtime from me. Didn't use it enough, not in that opacity that I wanted to. So I really want to use them for the springtime so much more. And I love when Colourpop is doing their collaborations. They are doing, for the most part, a very good job in my opinion, because they're really not shy also to go a little bit out there. And I think those are two palettes that are a little bit more on the fun side, you know, and I really appreciate that. Also having my eyes on the Twilight palette, I was always too late. The first time it didn't go well. You know that the drill about all of that. I was there at launch day, but it was gone in seconds. And the second time I wasn't at home, I was out with a friend, so it wasn't the right time to do it the second time, but the third time it will come out. I think they said around springtime or the end of springtime they will bring it again out. And then I will be there the second it will launch for sure, because I really love Twilight, I really love the movie, and I really want this palette as well. But it's not, in my opinion, a spring palette anyway, so those two will do it for me for the springtime. So excited to use them again a little bit more. Okay, the next palette is a Pat McGrath palette, and it's an older one. It's my quad, the Celestial Divinity Lux quad in Fleur Fantasia. It's a palette I also really want to use a little bit more during the springtime. Those are spring colors, guys. Those are really beautiful, light spring colors. It's a little bit something different that Pat McGrath did with this quad. It's not as glittery as we are used to when it comes to her shadows, you know, but it's a beautiful palette. I love the lightweight, beautiful feeling you get with it. I love the etherealness that you get with it, and I think about this one during the springtime so much more, and I want to use it during the springtime so much more. Maybe also in conjunction with my Colourpop palette that I showed you a second ago, because I think the Pretty Guardian palettes with this palette paired together would make a nice match as well. So why not? And I really want to use this one during this time a little bit more for sure again as well. Next one is a Melt palette, because I wanted to put a Melt palette also in here. I love Melt, you know, but it was the first time that one of my palettes did get mold, and that left a little bit of a bad taste behind, I won't lie, but I love them anyways. I hope it will be a one-time thing for me. But the palette I also thought immediately of is the Millennial Pinks palette for the springtime. Look at this beautiful color story, guys. It's really, really nice. I love the pinks in here. It's so light, ethereal as well. You can amp it up. You can make an amped up springtime look with it as well. And this is something I appreciate, because I think spring is not just about those light colors. You also can mix those light colors with a little bit more darker colors and make a cool contrast colored eye out of it. You know, I think this is also something to approach a little bit more during the springtime. I really want to try that, and therefore I think this palette is also so beautiful and stunning, and I'm really excited to use this one. This one is a palette I really, really love. I'm still loving it, and I want to use it in the springtime a little bit more. But to be honest, I use it very frequently. I love this one so much, and it's always in my rotation, no matter which time it is. But during the springtime, I think this is something that's coming really in handy. And it's my Lancome X Louvre palette right here. Look, guys, look how beautiful it is. They're really reminding me of springtime. This green you can pop in the middle, and at the outer portion you can make a light, airy look, or the other way around, you know. Or the green all over the lid, a little bit of those ones, maybe on the brow bone, maybe this pinkish one, or this really light white goldeny one. Or this one all over the lid as well, the highlighter, and you can call it a day. So you can make really bold but also really lightweight spring looks with this one, and I really appreciate that. I think it's a beautiful, stunning palette, and especially for the springtime, I want to pull this one out as well. Like I said, I'm using this one very, very much for the wintertime, for the springtime, for the summertime. I think this is for every season. It's a beautiful palette, but especially the springtime, I really can see spring in this palette right here. So I think in the springtime I will use this one so much more than I'm doing right now, you know? Anyway, so it's just something I wanted to mention, because I think those are also really beautiful spring colors. Okay, let's come to an obvious one, and it's the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette right here. I love this palette, guys. I know there are some mixed opinions about this one, some mixed reviews about this one. I think it's beautiful. I love those shades. I love the lightness, the pasteliness of those shades. I think those are really nice pastels. If you really want something lightweight, ethereal, pastel-y looking on your lid, those are the colors to go. I think they are beautiful. I love to mix and match. I love the shimmers in here. They are not that glimmery shimmery, you know. They're a little bit more on the subtle side, but I appreciate them. I think they are beautiful on the eyes, and there are some mixed kind of shimmers. There are some stronger ones, there are some more satiny ones, like this one right here. And I really appreciate this one. And this is a pastel dream, a pastel spring dream, you could say. So I don't think I have to say anything more. This is bring in a palette. And I'm really excited to use this one during the springtime. The next obvious one is my Nomad Harajuku palette. I'm so sad they discontinued this palette. It seems like this is not any longer available on their website. It was on a really good deal, I think 50% off or something like that. I'm so sad, guys, because I really like this palette. I think this is again a beautiful pastel dream, but you also can make it a little bit stronger, a little bit deeper with this gray shade right here. You have a row of mattes, you have a row of satin shades, and you have a row of beautiful toppery and glittery shades right here. It's a stunning palette. I know there are also mixed reviews, like with every pastel palette on this planet. I have the feeling there will be always mixed reviews, but in my opinion, it's a really nice palette. I took this palette with me during my trip to Tokyo. It couldn't be more perfect if you're asking me, and I really loved it again. I really again did fall in love with this one, and I know why, because it's so beautiful. I love the colors. I love my eye look every time I'm using this one, and it's such a stunning palette, guys. I really like it, and during the springtime, you can bet on it. I will use it definitely more and more, and now that it's gone, I appreciate it even more than I did before. So if you have it, pull it out. You know, pull it out for the time being, because it's a fun, nice, cute palette, and I really enjoy my time with this one. Now the palette that I'm having on my eyes today, and it's the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights palette right here. Guys, in my palette ranking for the year 2023, this one was relatively down, you know, but I told you that it's just because it wasn't the time for this palette. I didn't felt it that much, but now that it's getting warmer, the sun is coming out again. It's a stunning palette. I also told you that it's a really nice quality palette, but I just didn't felt it during the time that I had this one. I knew I just need the right time to feel this palette, you know, and now I think it's the right time. Look how stunning it is. It's just all the palette on my eyes. A little bit of the Chanel highlighter, the newer one, you know, the bluish one on my brow bow, but everything else, it's really just this palette right here that I have on, and I love it. During the springtime, I will use it so much. You can bet on it. I think it's a beautiful, nice color story. It's a little bit like a rainbowy type of palette, you know, but make it pastel in the end. So I'm so excited to use this one. I think those colors are so stunning. You can see how strong they are. So I have the feeling they also would fit nice for deeper skin tones. And I think this is one that's really doing a nice job of that because of the vibrancy that you are getting with it. So stunning. I'm so excited to use this one more during the springtime. I had my fun today with it, and I know now why I bought this one and why I love Cosmic Brushes. Need to dabble my toes again into their brand. I have almost every palette. I think 2 palettes that I don't have are the Muse palette and the bluish one. I forgot how it's called. Winter Dream or something like that? I don't know. But this is the one that I really want, and I'm having my eye on it. And when it will come out again, I will buy it for sure. And yeah, I really love the brand. I think they're stunning. I love the mattes. I love the shimmers. The mattes even a little bit more than the shimmers, to be honest, because they are so stunning and so easy to work with. So yeah, this is the palette I really want to use during the springtime for sure. So much more again. Okay, the next one, I don't know if it's available still, but I wanted to mention it, and it's my Tiny Marvels palette from Mel Thompson and Sydney Grace. Mel Thompson, I always can say that was just a beautiful, stunning creator on YouTube. She was an inspiring person in itself, you know, and I really enjoyed watching her. And I wanted the palette from her and Sydney Grace for such a long time. And I'm so happy I bought it for myself finally. And yeah, also springtime, you can make it really springy, really light, really beautiful, especially the shade Firebuds. It's such a beautiful and so unique type of shade. I really love it. And you can also deepen it up if you want to. So this is something I also really appreciate. If you think, okay, I want to go spring today, but I want to go as well a little bit more deeper and smoky, the palette is giving you the option, you know, and this is something I also really like and appreciate about this one. And yeah, want to use it during the springtime so much more because it's a beautiful, stunning palette and I'm so excited about it again. Like I said, I have my phases. I was a little bit out of the indie brand phase, but now I'm back in, I have the feeling. I don't know if it's the sun and the warmness that's coming back, that's making me feel like color again. Probably it is that, but I really wanna dabble my toes again a little bit more into indie brands, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so excited about this one and I want to definitely use it during the springtime. Okay guys, let's come to the last 3 palettes. The next one is a luxury palette and it's a newer one in my collection and it's the Chanel Coral Treasure palette. It's a beautiful spring palette, guys, and it's the spring collection, so it's fitting, you know, it's very, very fitting. And I really want to use this one as well during the springtime again, so much more. I think it's a beautiful, stunning palette. It's a really lightweight, ethereal type of palette, so if you don't like that, maybe it's not the palette for you, but it's very, very nice. The colors are easy to work with. The only thing I wished is that they maybe didn't had those 2 in the same palette because they're relatively similar. Maybe they could have do a nice pop of something else in here. But all in all, I really enjoy my time with this one. I think it's a beautiful palette and yeah, of course I need to use it. It's new, I paid money for it and I really wanna play during the springtime so much more with this one. And I'm very excited for the days I don't feel too much color on my eyes, but I want something. This is come in handy, you know. The last 2 are Pat McGrath palettes. The next one is the Pat McGrath X Bridgerton palette and it's the Belle of the Ball one, the second one that came out. It's beautiful. The other one, you know, the Diamond of the First Water, I think it's called. It's reminding me a little bit more of the winter time because of the reddish bluish combination. This one, it's really spring because this blue is more on the teal side and teal colors are always reminding me a little bit more of the springtime, you know, and not so much of the winter time. So that's because, and yeah, I think this is a beautiful palette, a beautiful spring palette for me personally. And I really want to use it so much more now that it's getting warmer and the spring is greeting us, you know. I'm so excited to use this one again a little bit more and I'm motivated again to use this one a little bit more for sure. And the last palette, guys, it wouldn't be, you know, a season type of palette video if I wouldn't show you a mothership in here. And the mothership I pulled out for the springtime is my Pat McGrath Utopian Dream palette. Of course, I need to use this one during the springtime. I'm so excited about it. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, stunning palette. I love it so much to the moon and back, and I'm also right now again in the phase where I'm using my Pat McGrath palettes a little bit more again, especially my motherships. I paid so much money for it and there was a time, you know, the last couple of months I didn't felt them so much. I did felt a little bit more of other palettes, but now that it's getting warmer again and I'm feeling them again because I really want to have more fun with glitters again on my eyes, I really want to use this so much more again. And this is the palette I really want to use a little bit more now that the spring is arriving, that the spring is there. I'm feeling it, you know, and I really, really want to use it. And you can say what you want, but Pat McGrath is remaining to be one of my favorite brands, and I'm so excited to, yeah, use it again a little bit more in the springtime and to get reminded why I love this one so much. And yeah, this is the last palette I really want to use a little bit more during the time of the year, the season right here, and I'm so excited about it. And yeah, guys, this is all of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think with those palettes, spring really can arrive, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I have all the colors I need. I have all the beautiful palettes to play with during this time, and those are really the palettes that reminding me of the springtime, when the flowers are blooming, you know. I feel color again. I feel it again, and those palettes are really helping me to create what I feel in the inside also at the outside, if you know what I mean. So very excited about that. And if you enjoyed this video too, guys, I would be really happy if you give me a thumbs up, that I know that you like this kind of content. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and click on the little bell to get notifications here and there when I'm posting something new. And with that being said, if you have some of those palettes at home, pull them out again, play with them, feel the springtime, or if you have some other palettes that are reminding you of springtime, pull them out and play again with them because they are deserving your love, you know? You bought them for a reason. And with that being said, I hope we will see each other in my next video. I'm so excited about that. And until then, bye guys.